And now this is where it gets interesting. The Lady Cougars cruise to a 5-1 start in the non-conference part of the schedule. But now comes the test for the Peach Belt Conference. The rigors of that tried and true conference now in its 25th year of existence. The Lady Cougars will fight to retain their titles in both the regular season and tournament forms in the PBC, and the road to repeat. In the case of the tournament, the three-peat starts tonight as UNC Pembroke comes to town. Will it be the Lady Cougars all the way, or will the Braves come in and pull off the stunning upset? There's only one way to find out. At the Frank G. Lumpkin Center, it's the Columbus State Lady Cougars, 15th in the country, against the North Carolina Pembroke Braves, unranked and 4-3. Hello, everybody. Will DeBoer courtside here at Herbert Green Court. The first time in a little over a month that Jonathan Norton's bunch has returned to the Lumpkin Center. They last played here on November 13th and 14th in a tournament against Fort Valley State and Albany State. Handily won those games, but now a conference foe, a very familiar face, comes to town. UNC Pembroke, a team that the Lady Cougars have bested 6 times in a row, for number 7 tonight. And with that, we turn it over to Jonathan Norton, who got to talk about his team and his play during the first month of the season leading into this game. So let's take a listen to that. Columbus State started off 5-1 in the non-conference slate. Now the real season starts. The Peach Belt Conference schedule begins tonight as UNC Pembroke comes to town. We're joined by Coach Jonathan Norton. Coach, a solid start to the year. You guys are ranked in the top 15 once again. What's been your biggest takeaway from the early portion of the schedule?
It was a good start in our non-conference play. A lot of road games and lots of interesting long stretches without games, just the way the schedule fell and a holiday break for Thanksgiving and then finals. So it's been kind of a difficult navigation, and just up and down. But all in all, when we stepped on the court, we were pretty solid in our performance. And, our takeaways are we're moving the ball well, we're sharing it well. We're not turning it over a whole lot, and so that's given us opportunities on the offensive end, and we shot it pretty well for the most part, at least from the field. We could shoot it better from the three, and and defensively we've been okay. I still think we can improve greatly on the defensive end.
And all those tweaks in preparation for the quest to defend your tournament championship, 2-time defending tournament championship and regular season championship in the Peach Belt Conference. Bit of a target on your back this season after winning the double last year. What sort of things do you do differently now that you are the presumptive favorite, now that everybody knows that you're a good team rather than when you've got question marks?
We don't do anything differently, and as I challenged our team first meeting of this year, we're not defending anything. This team's a different team last year, different players, different makeup, and so we're attacking the rest of the conference and the rest of the country just like everybody else is. We're trying to win something and accomplish something great and special for this team. We're not trying to defend anything, but we do recognize that there's a target on our back. We were picked by the coaches to win the league, and so we're going to get everybody's best shot every night. So we've got to be focused in practice. We can't get complacent, and we got to come ready to play and play at the highest level we can play at every night out. Road, home, it doesn't matter, and that's what I keep preaching to them right now. Let's be less concerned with our opponent and more concerned playing the best basketball CSU can play.
And playing some good basketball at the beginning is one of your new additions this year, Gabby Williams, the JUCO transfer. Only other player aside from Michelle Mitchell who's averaging double figures scoring. What's impressed you about the way she's transitioned from JUCO to D2?
Well, Gabby's picked up everything really quickly, and it's really been a challenge for her because she plays all over the court. She doesn't just play one position. She plays kind of everything except for the center. And so for her to just fit right in has been a pleasure. But, she's so versatile, Will. She can shoot the three. She can take it off the dribble. She really has a high basketball IQ. She's got great vision, great passer, strong. She's only about 5'5", 5'6", but she rebounds the ball really well. So just a really talented player who plays really hard and has a competitive spirit, second to none.
5'5" and gets rebounds. Don't tell J.D. Evie decides he might recruit her for the long jump.
Exactly.
February.
He recruits a lot of ours for sprinting and everything. So we got to keep him away, even though he's right there on the side of the table, keeping score.
Yeah, J.D., if you're watching this, get back to work.
That's right.
Now, speaking of rebounding there, the biggest challenge, I think, coming in this year was going to be replacing Carrie Washington and her nearly 13 rebounds per game. How do you feel Ashley Asusu and then Gabby Williams and others have really stepped up to make up for that lack of production on the board?
Yeah, and that was a huge concern coming in, and we knew we wouldn't count on one player to get all the rebounds like we had been able to do the last couple of years. We were going to have to rebound by committee, and everybody was going to have to step up. Obviously, Ashley's the first person we all talk about because of the post position, and she's done that. She's already had one game this year with 20 rebounds, so she's doing that. She's stepped up her game on the boards. Michelle Mitchell has stepped up her game. She's had a couple double-doubles, including the rebounds. Gabby's rebounding at a high level, and then Ashley Johnson, some of our backup post players, have stepped in there and rebounded it. So it's really got to be done by committee, not just our posts either. We got to have our off guards, our twos and our threes. We've got to rebound as well.
Now let's talk about UNC Pembroke, the first PVC opponent of the schedule this year. Not a great shooting team. They're last in the conference in field goal percentage, three-point shooting, but you give anybody open looks, and they're going to start to make them. So what would be your defensive approach?
Well, and it's funny you said that. That's what I just preached to mine and shoot around and walk through was don't let their shooting percentage, lure you into thinking you can take it easy. You look at some of their players are taking a lot of three-point shots. They're young, and so my thought is they're probably good shooters. It's just they're young college players. The game's probably a little faster than they're used to. And at some point, their feet are going to settle in, and they're going to start making those shots. So we can't give them an opportunity to get confident in our gym. So our defense has got to be the same principles and the same philosophy. We've got to pressure the ball. We got to contest every shot and not give them a chance to get hot and get confident.
And you mentioned Ashley Johnson as someone who's coming off the bench and producing pretty well. Who's someone else who you look to on the bench tonight and you're thinking, I really like to see her step up?
Well, we expect Bria Walker to come in and shoot the ball from the perimeter. She's a three-point specialist coming right off the bench. She has a skill set that not many have. That it's just hard to step in and be ready to fire away from the three like she can. But we expect her to do that. And then Tatiana Wayne, our freshman guard, has been really giving us a spark with her quickness and athleticism, getting steals, getting out in transition. So I expect her to go along with Ashley Johnson. And then Era Morrow is kind of our hybrid. She can play the wing. She can also play the four and be kind of a stretch four. So we look for all three of those to go partner with AJ and give us something off the bench.
Now, your teams have had a really good record against UNC Pembroke over the last 6 years, 6 straight wins dating back to 09 and 10. When you have a winning streak like that against a particular team, does that mean as a coach can look at it and say, okay, I'm just going to go with what I've been doing the past 6 years? I know that's worked. I know that'll get us a win. Or does it mean that you can be a little more experimental and try different things, knowing that if it doesn't work out, you can always fall back on the tried and true?
Well, I mean, we're a big picture team and program, and so each year's different. Even though Coach Haskins has been there a long time, and I've been here a while, and we've played against each other, we only play them once a year for the most part, unless we see them in the tournament, which we haven't much. And so we don't look at the overall record, and we don't look at the past. We watch film, and then we assess how we need to attack them offensively, what we need to do defensively, develop that scouting report. And I do go back and say, okay, what was successful for us last year? Is there anything that we're running already this year that we did last year? So we will use those things. And he's run some of the same stuff offensively, but it's more about personnel and keying in on different players. And he's got different players this year. He graduated a lot. So, and some of his personnel, there are a lot of new. They didn't just step in from freshman to sophomore, junior. He's just got to get a bunch of new players that we've never seen before. So we really just identify it as a singular task of what do we got to do this year to be successful winning this basketball game.
And this year's what it's all about now. They won the double last year, going for the repeat this year, starting tonight. Coach, thanks and good luck.
Thank you, Will.
Jonathan Norton, 7th-year head coach of the Lady Cougars, going for win number 7 when he tries against UNC, as we're about 2 minutes shy from the introduction here in the stadium. For UNC Pembroke, the big name is down low, Mary Robinson, the 5'10 junior from Enterprise, Alabama. 8.3 rebounds per contest. That's 7th in the Peach Belt. She gets the start down low. She's joined by Avery Locklear, the freshman from Landis, North Carolina, and a blue bud when it comes to Pembroke athletics. Her grandfather is a Hall of Famer at the University for 3 sports. Her uncle is Kelvin Sampson, who also went to UNC Pembroke. I shouldn't have to tell you who Kelvin Sampson is. Chandrika Fuller, number 21, also gets to start, the 5'3 senior from Durham, North Carolina. LaShonda Pritchard is the 5'9 junior from Havelock, North Carolina, transferred in from Florida State College of Jacksonville. And then Phoenicia Lawson, the 6-foot junior from Reedsville, North Carolina, who is getting her 5th straight start. For Columbus State, the same starting 5, the standard 5, if you will, that has gone in each of the previous contests. For them, that is Aaron Cochran, Gabby Williams, Brittany Tatum, Michelle Mitchell, and Ashley Asuzu. That lineup has led to a 5-1 record for the Lady Cougars over their first 6 games. The only loss coming at Carson Newman the weekend before Thanksgiving on some last-second free throws. And indeed, they led almost entirely that game. About 39.5 minutes. The only time they didn't lead was when it mattered at the very final buzzer. UNC Pembroke, 4-3 overall. They have played a Peach Belt game so far this season. They lost to Lander on December 5th at home by the score 2-39. It was one of just 2 Peach Belt Conference games that were played before tonight. It is, for all intents and purposes, opening night. Late across. We'll update you on those scores around. Starting right now as well, Flagler at North Georgia, Augusta at Southwestern, Lander at Clayton State, Armstrong at Young Harris, and an hour later is Francis Marion at Montevallo. Right now, let's turn it over to Brian Slido, public address announcer for the starting lineups.
For today's Peach Belt women's basketball matchup, featuring the Braves of UNC Pembroke, who come into today's contest with an overall record of 4 wins and 3 losses, 0-1 in Peach Belt play. And your 15th ranked Columbus State University Lady Cougars, 5-1 overall, a 0-0 record in the conference. In just a moment, we'll introduce today's starting lineups. First, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor the United States of America with the playing of our national anthem. Today's starting lineups, first for the visiting Lady Braves of UNC Pembroke. At one forward, 6 feet tall, sophomore from Reedsville, North Carolina, number 34, Phoenicia Lawson. At forward, 5'10", senior from Enterprise, Alabama, number 10, Mary Robinson. At one guard, 5'3", a senior from Durham, North Carolina, number 21, Chandrika Fuller. At guard, 5'7", a freshman from Landis, North Carolina, number 15, Avery Montclair. And at guard, 5'9", a junior from Havelock, North Carolina, number 25, LaShonda Pritchard. The head coach of the Lady Braves is John Haskins, assisted by Kamika Davis and Joey Washington. Number 24, Ashley Asusu. And now the guards of 5'7" sophomore from Hiawassee. Number 3, Erin Cochran. A 5'6" junior from LaGrange. Number 14, Brittany Tatum. A 5'5" junior from Mobile. Number 4, Gabby Williams. And a 5'9" senior from Eastman, Georgia. Number 20, Michelle Mitchell. The head coach of the Lady Cougars is Jonathan Norton. Assisted by Kirsten Reed, Aisha Alexander, and Sheffield Redford.
So there are your starting lineups as the Lady Cougars prepare to defend their Peach Belt regular season and tournament titles. Although if you ask